this thing about Drake and the hot sauce. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me get into it.
Buffalo Wild.
I just think it's so weird.
It is so weird. It is very strange.
That.
And also it's embarrassing. Because she
Yeah.
got caught. You know what I mean? It's different if like, oh my God, the condom didn't work. That happens sometimes, 98%. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the fact that, like, how can you even look at him? You know what I mean? Like, you know what you did.
Yes.
And he's in the bathroom looking at you like, you wanted to be with me forever, huh?
Right. What do you think he said after that? Because he obviously knew what he was doing when he put it on. And then, like, what pillow talk happens after that? Or do you just immediately kick her out?
No,
it's like, bye. You trifling?
If I was a man and this happened to me, I would literally go in there and be like, oh my God, you okay? And then I'd see what happened. I'd be like, Karma's a bitch. And I'd walk out.
Hi.
How are you? Like, we're like, hi.
Right.
Like,
You can see how thirsty I am for it.
Like, hi.
Guys, now you know that this is literally always how I respond to her. Like, with this amount of enthusiasm. Like, hey, like, really thirsty.
I know.
Like, the closer I get to the mic, I feel like the more you know that I like you.
Oh.
You know? So, like, this.
That's actually, I feel like I've been blessed by having a best friend that is so excited to, like, you know, respond to me.
True.
I don't even know what it's like to, like, be like, hey, and for someone to be like, hey.
Sad.
Tone.
Right. Like,
do you even like me?
Right.
No. Honestly, communication is so important to me as a Gemini moon because I read into shit way too much.
Yeah.
And, like, someone's tone can be, like, completely, like, just a little bit off, and I feel that shit, and I start thinking that, like, they're mad at me. Meanwhile, they could be, like, tired, you know, not having a good day, but to me, I'm like, what's wrong?
Right.
You don't sound the same.
Right.
You know?
Is there beef between us? Because
Yeah.
I'd rather squash it now.
Because your voice says it all.
You know?
It really does.
It really does. Because it's like normally, especially normally if you're like really happy and you sound happy to like,
Yeah.
you know?
For sure. For sure.
And yeah, like if I hear a different inflection in your voice, then I do. I always ask, what's wrong? Are you okay?
Yeah, like
You know what
I need to know.
Like, did I do something?
Yeah.
You know, like I'm still, I'll be honest, I'm still childish enough to be like, it was me. Like, I did it. Even though obviously I know not everyone's world revolves around me. I still feel like I'm the one who pissed everybody off. And
it's not even childish. I feel like it just ties back to childhood trauma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And thinking like everything's our fault.
Yeah.
You know, and that everyone's mad at us.
Yeah.
Abandonment issues, you know?
Yeah. You get me.
Yeah, I do.
No, but you're so right, though. I feel like I would not be friends with somebody who was just, like, not enthusiastic to, like, be around me. You know what I mean? Or, like, didn't laugh at my jokes. Like,
I know.
you know what I mean?
I know.
Like, some people are like that.
And that's not friendship to me.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to live in each other's minds.
Right?
You got to find the right people, you know?
Right.
Because also, as much as I need that communication, I also need that nonverbal cue.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't always need to be telling you it's time to leave, but, like, if you're looking at me, you better be able to tell that it's time to leave.
Right.
I'm not feeling it. I don't want to be like, hey, so, like, how are you feeling? I'm like, I want to go.
Right. Like,
I want to look
every
at you
time-
and you just know,
Like, it's time, huh? You ready?
Actually.
No, that's a real love language. People being able to understand your nonverbal cues.
It really is, and I feel like that's why it's so important to be friends with people that have, like, the same, like, moon sign or, like, same element moon sign as you, because you just, like, get each other's feelings. You know what I mean? You just understand each other.
It's true. It's true. It's so true. So how have you felt about, like, the Cancer full moon that just happened?
Oh, my God. I mean, not to, like, toot my own horn, but I had a really good full moon day.
Yeah.
I feel like I did a lot of things for myself to make myself feel good. And, I feel happy afterwards.
Yeah.
If anything, I was just, like, restless, which is, like, the norm for full moons. But other than that, I felt really, really good. The only time I was actually scared about the full moon was when we got a tsunami warning in San Francisco. And it was just so freaking crazy. Because the moon, I get my notification that said the moon moved in to Cancer, and then right after I get the tsunami warning.
Yeah.
It wasn't like crazy. We didn't like die, obviously. We're here.
We're living
It was like
story.
3-foot waves or whatever because of the volcano that erupted. So, all of the Pacific got tsunami warnings.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was so interesting because, you guys, if you didn't know, the moon obviously affects the tides of the ocean. Like, that is, like, a fact.
Yeah.
So it's like, when people even talk about astrology and say they don't believe in it, I'm like, we're made of 70% water.
Yeah.
How can the moon not affect us, but it affects the big-ass ocean?
Right.
The whole-ass ocean.
Like, no.
So I just thought it was crazy that the full moon was happening in a water sign. And, we got these tsunami warnings. And then me being extra into astrology, I was like, oh my God, what was San Francisco's like birth chart again? Because if you guys didn't know, everything has a birth chart. Not just people. Literally everything has a birth chart. It has a time that it, began, was born. So it has a birth chart. And I looked it up, and San Francisco is a Cancer sun with a Scorpio moon. So double water energy. And the fact that it was, you know what I mean? It was a full moon in Cancer. I was like, oh shit. Something's happening here. The universe is all aligned.
Right. Something is a moving.
Yeah.
And when you told me or reminded me again that San Francisco is a Cancer sun and Scorpio moon, I was like, you know what? That makes so much sense. And I feel like other people would agree too, because we love San Francisco. Gives you very homey, warm vibes. Like, everybody feels welcome. But it's also kind of chaotic. You know what I mean? Like, everybody talks about how crazy everything is here, and the homeless people, and like how they're always wilding and stuff.
They're definitely just, everyone's, I feel like, comfortable expressing themselves here. And we have a lot of water energy. You have a lot of shit to express.
Yeah. And they say it with their whole chest.
And it is pretty cute, too, because you look at San Francisco and it's surrounded by the bay. And I feel like that's crazy because it is a double water sign. And the fact that it's literally surrounded by water, that's even cuter to me.
Yeah, it's so
Astrology is just too real, y'all.
It really is. It really is.
How was the Cancer full moon for you?
So cute. It was actually pretty good, too, which I feel like is rare because I feel like normally just any Cancer transit for me, especially moon, like, can be hard, I think. And I feel like I did okay. Like you said, I took care of myself. I was really well rested. I feel like it did really make me think about like my everyday kind of responsibilities and little things that I kind of want to try and change daily to make me feel more comfortable, if that makes sense. Like little daily things that I can do that I know are going to make, me feel more comfortable in my skin, in my home, having communications with people. Like, it was just lots of little things, but like little to-dos, I feel like that would make me more comfortable. Yeah. So it was nice. I feel like normally Cancer
definitely hella feelings.
A little stressful.
And like, it's not like it's just freaking the Cancer full moon too. Like, there's Mercury retrograde. We've been in Venus retrograde. Feels like forever now.
Facts.
So all that energy together, to me, it seemed like it was going to be a recipe for disaster come Monday. But like, it really wasn't.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've just like, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I feel like after all that time spent alone during the pandemic, like, I don't have a lot of like pent up emotions that are going to be released like one day during a full moon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm just processing things much slower but more efficiently. So I'm able to, have these high energy days without feeling like I'm so emotional that like I just can't go on with my day.
Yeah.
I
feel like we have so much more time to work on the things that it's like you said, it's not, I don't have to pack it all in one day or I have this one day where all of my feelings come to a head. You know what I mean? Like, we really are working on it throughout the month, throughout the year, the months. You know what I mean? So it's different. It feels different.
Cheers. Okay, so since we briefly talked about Mercury retrograde, and the damaging effects that it has on humanity.
Yes. But really don't.
I want to just briefly talk about, our tips when it comes to Mercury retrograde. I've been into astrology since I was 15, and like I always like heard about Mercury retrograde, and then I became more familiar with it in my early 20s, and now I feel like I know how to use its energy. So I feel like I want to give back to the people that are maybe just getting into astrology or have been into it for a while and still don't understand what they need to do when Mercury is, retrograde.
Yes. I feel like my first tip because for me, whenever Mercury's in retrograde, I really come up against things with travel.
Yeah.
So, like, my number one tip is, like, make extra time to, like, leave early because you're probably going to be driving around for an extra 10 minutes.
Right. Or some shit's going to happen. Even if it's, like, a road or a place that you've been to 100 times, for some reason, this one day that you have to be there at a certain time, something's going to go wrong.
Right. Like, that exit isn't open or something, or there was an accident, and it's like... Just try and plan ahead for that because it can be really frustrating in the moment. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, I go this route every time, or why is this happening to me? Like, why is this breaking down?
Yeah.
Why is my Google Maps, like, freaking out on me? Just give yourself extra time so you can, like, not feel stressed when all of these weird things are happening.
Yeah. I guess just assume shit's gonna go wrong.
Yeah. Kinda, yeah.
Because that way you'll be extra prepared. Even if it doesn't go wrong, you'll have that peace of mind that, like, I am working with this energy.
Yes.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I completely agree with that. I just feel like I want people to move slower. You know what I mean? Be more observant more than the person that is doing shit. Because usually when you start doing shit, some shit goes wrong and everyone's going to be talking about you. You know what I mean? Like, truly. Like, do you want to be the person that people are talking about because something stupid happened to you?
Right.
Or do you want to be the observer that sits back and watches the chaos?
Yeah.
I personally want to be the observer that watches the chaos. Does that always happen? No.
Right.
But it's all about the intention. You know what I mean? I feel like Mercury just wants you to reevaluate the decisions that you've been making. You know, that's why they say don't start anything new when Mercury retrogrades. Mm-hmm. Go back to old shit because you've had time with those things, you know, so you can kind of pick it back up. But the energy is just not the best for starting something new and saying shit boldly. You know what I mean? Because, like we said, shit can go wrong.
Yeah.
There can be miscommunication. People may take it the wrong way. And then you are left trying to figure it out while Mercury's still in retrograde and shit's still going wrong. Like, you just don't want to put yourself in that position, I feel like.
No, for
That's
sure.
why I say just observe, sit back, move slow, and, you know, watch the chaos around you.
No, it's so true. It's like if you feel the need to try and insert yourself in a conversation, like, stop. Because I feel like if you feel really passionately in this moment to, like, hey, I need to get my point across, I promise you, you already lost. Like, I feel like for me during Mercury retrograde, like, it's not the time to, like, really try and say your whole point to people and really, like, let people know what's up. It's like, yeah, like Sarah said, take a step back and observe before you actually start running your mouth.
For sure.
Because, again, there will be miscommunications.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh, fuck, and then you're doing damage control, and then you're all embarrassed.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard. You know what I mean? Because also you got to think about how that energy is coming towards you. When Mercury's in retrograde, you're also seeing shit from a different perspective than you would be otherwise. You can maybe see the wrong information, and now you feel all inclined to talk about it. And then 2 days later, it comes out that actually that wasn't true, and now you went on a rant about something that was completely false. You know what I mean? Like, shit like that would happen.
Yeah, no.
And then you look dumb.
And it's honestly the worst because then to me, and I've literally fallen victim to this multiple times, I try and double down. And it's like, that's really not what you're supposed to be doing in that moment. So even though it feels like you should be doubling down, stop.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's hard.
It's so hard.
Because
I get it.
We say this, I say this so many times that Mercury's the trickster of the zodiac, right? So it wants you to kind of fumble over your words. When it's retrograde, it wants you to do some shit wrong. So it could look at you and be like, see, I told you, you stupid. You know what I mean? Like, you should have just sat there and ate your food. But you didn't. And now everyone's looking at you and, like, laughing at you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's, like, literally the worst time to be the main character energy.
Yes.
Like, it's the worst time to be the main character during Mercury retrograde. Just, like, sit back and relax.
Mm-hmm. And it'll be over soon. All of the chaos and confusion and the weird exes hitting you back up. Because obviously everybody talks about that too. But it's true. Like, people really do come back into your life, I feel like, during this time. And it really is on you to not engage in those cycles again. You know what I mean? I feel like really that's what Mercury retrograde's maybe asking of you. It's like, are you going to engage with these cycles again? Because it'll get you mixed up if you want to. Or you can just sit back and be like, no, I'm not going to engage. You know, focus on you.
No, I mean, that's completely true. And maybe that's one of the other tips that we can give is everyone knows, yes, everyone's going to come back during Mercury retrograde, especially Venus retrograde, because Venus, it's all about relationships. So even more so than Mercury, Venus is like, everybody's back.
Right.
How you feel about that? But with Mercury retrograde too, again, that trickster energy comes of like you thinking, oh my God, my ex is back. Oh yeah. Like I want you to 99% of the time take no one seriously that comes back during Mercury retrograde. Because even if they come back and you're like, well, they wanted me, you don't know what the energy is going to be like after Mercury goes direct. You know what I mean? Like Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, all these, planets that have to do with our personal relationships, when they go retrograde, it really is a time to learn lessons. You know what I mean? That's why they're coming back, because they want you to reevaluate the mistakes that you've made. Yes, those people were probably mistakes. That's why they're not in your life anymore. But that trickster energy wants you to think like, hey, doesn't this feel like the past again? You know what I mean? Like 2016 was so fun. Let's bring it back.
Oh my
And all of a sudden it feels like that energy. And you're like, damn it, I did have a good year that year. I kind of want to go back to that year. Boom, your ex is, you know what I mean, texting you.
Oh my God.
And the universe is like, I didn't know you wanted to go back in time. Shit.
It's like, okay.
We just want to forget about everything that you've learned the past 5 years and you just want to go back to your ex from 5 years ago. And like you will feel dumb afterwards.
You will.
Because I swear you're just in this illusion when planets are in retrograde.
Yes.
Shit isn't really real. I mean, it's real, but it's not the way it is when shit is direct.
Yeah. It's like you're going to come out of this retrograde and be like, shit.
You're going to literally have a pay-per-view of the mistakes that you made during the retrograde. And you're going to be like, damn, you're watching it without your rose-colored glasses. And you're like, I was kind of stupid the past 6 weeks. What happened?
Yeah.
Mercury retrograde. Venus retrograde.
Yeah. And I love, I love that you said that it really kind of starts making you reminisce about the past. Because I feel like, at least for me too, during Mercury retrograde, like I really do reminisce on the things that I'm like in the moment of like, damn, I missed this. Or that was such a good time 10 years ago. And it's like, careful the language that you use, because it literally will bring it back up and was like, yeah, did you have
words
so much
magic,
fun?
You guys,
you had so much fun?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I didn't actually have that much fun, So be cautious of your thoughts, because I feel like they can run amok and run wild, and you can kind of convince yourself of things during this time. And it's like, be more on top of it than that if possible. Put yourself in check of like, yeah, that was fun, but that was then, that's not for me now. You kind of have to put it in its place.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think that energy can get out of hand, that reminiscing. And I do like to do it a lot during Mercury retrograde, I feel like.
Yeah. And I am natally, I have a natal Mercury and Venus retrograde. And from all the reading I've done and the shit that I've learned is that like we just learn through lessons. Like we are always reevaluating our choices, like always thinking about it. Yeah. And like that is the advice I would give to people when Venus or Mercury is in retrograde. When you have thoughts, kind of step outside your mind and be like, why am I thinking this? Instead of when shit's direct and you have a thought and you go with it. This time more than ever, when you have certain thoughts or beliefs, please just step outside of your mind and be like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Again, move slower.
Yeah. It wants you to pause, and I feel like
your thoughts.
Yes, and I feel like that's interesting because I feel like Gemini placements probably feel this a lot. It's like we have all of these minds and thoughts. Our mind's always going a million miles a minute. We have all these thoughts coming across us. We kind of have to slow it down and observe which ones, you know what I mean? Which one am I going to take today? Which one am I engaging with?
What's real? From me,
exactly.
Rather than an outside external force.
Yeah.
That's why meditation is so important. That's why alone time is so important. So you can decipher, is this my voice?
Yeah.
Is this my feeling, my thought? Or is this someone else? Because then you're living life for other people. You know what I mean? You want to live an authentic life. Learn to hear your own voice and differentiate it from the other voices and the other feelings around you.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's makes your life a lot better.
Yeah.
And a lot less stressful, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. But yeah, we hope you guys like this little segment about Mercury retrograde. Yeah. And I just wanted to say, if you guys like segments like this where we talk about transits and, we share what we know with you guys and we just have an open and honest conversation about it, just comment down below and we'll do more of those. And if you're listening from the, a podcast streaming platform, go to our YouTube and comment because we really want to hear from you guys. And that's a nice way to engage with our audience.
Yes. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this. I actually saw it, I think like a week ago, but I thought it was really cool. It's super random, but I thought it was really cool that for the first time in history, a man got a heart transplant from a pig.
What?
Isn't that insane? So this guy
Put some respect on pigs' names because I swear pigs are viewed as this like disgusting, gross animal. How many people do we call like, you're a pig?
No, it's
like
true.
A pig gave someone a heart?
Right. Isn't that so freaking amazing?
Honestly.
This man was going to die because he wasn't allowed to be on the heart transplant list. You know what I mean? He didn't qualify. And he was willing to
be a test subject, be a guinea pig.
Yeah.
But that's hella funny. That's awesome. And he's like living.
Yeah, he's doing all right. It happened like a few weeks ago. Okay, this is really funny because, I mean, it's funny to me, but it's also kind of sad because he was like, really not doing well. He was going to die. And the doctors came in and were like, hey, we want to kind of do the surgery. This is what we're thinking. And he's like, am I going to oink like a pig? Like, he said that.
Me and him.
Right.
Same energy. Is he a Gemini moon?
I thought that was really cute.
That's hella cute. And
but
that's adorable.
He's doing fine now. It'll be really interesting to see, how long that extends his life. But yeah, I just feel like transplants can be such a volatile process. Mm-hmm. And
it's wild.
It really is. And they're even more weird and sick and sad is that, and unfortunate is that some people even sell their organs, you know what I mean, for money and stuff like that. So there's a whole black market for this.
For sure.
And just to
people
know
get
that
stolen in certain countries and then they wake up and then they're like, damn, it hurts.
Right.
Their kidney's gone or like their bladder's gone or whatever it is. It's gone. And they're just out on the street.
Right.
That shit's scary.
Yeah, that literally just gave me chills. So it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable to know that like this is maybe going to become like a new thing, or a different option for people who don't have other options. And I thought that was really dope.
I love this.
And
they better not start like killing pigs for it.
You know what? I was thinking about that too.
I don't know why, but for good reason. I always assume the worst in humanity.
Yeah.
Because there's some fucked up people out there. And I don't know. Especially in America, heart disease is the #1 cause of death.
Yeah.
This got dark real quick.
It did. But also, I'm like, let me not continue to add to the darkness because my thoughts are just getting dark.
Well, on a happier note about like pigs, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember when we were watching Floribama Shore?
Yes.
And it was really cute. There was, a cast member that had a dog and another one that had a pig, and they took both of them to a dog training course. And at first, the teacher looked at the pig and said, what the fuck is this? Like, this isn't for pigs.
Like, I'm not going to teach you a pig.
And she kind of like, convinced her. And the pig was doing better than the freaking dog.
It was so smart.
Such a sweet little pig.
So smart. I've actually heard that cows and pigs are very similar to dogs.
Wow. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, I've been sipping.
All right, I want to talk about Miss Britney fucking Spears.
Yes.
Because, like, the story just keeps on coming out, and I love her. Yes, love her, our Sagittarius queen. And, yeah, I feel like a lot has been coming out about her relationship with her sister, like, more details about that.
Yeah.
And I know I shared one of her posts with you where she basically wrote an open letter to her sister talking about, like, hey, you did some fucked up shit, but I'm going to love you regardless because I knew you were, the younger one. And, at the end of the day, I still feel betrayed by you. You know what I mean? Because she was loyal to the people that hurt her.
Yeah.
Her sister was loyal to her mom and dad, who were the people that, kept Britney away from all of her money and all that shit. And traumatized the fuck out of her. And I just wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about unconditional love when it comes to family. And, just how hard it is. And do you believe that no matter what, you should forgive family because blood is thicker than water and you only live one life and whatever else people fucking say to make excuses for family doing shitty things. Do you?
No, I don't. I don't. But I loved seeing this dynamicness from Britney because it's like, yeah, she went through this really shitty things and they took away her rights, you know what I mean? Took away her money. And forced a lot of terrible things. You know what I mean? Yeah, forced a lot of terrible things on her. But she was like, you know what? You're my baby sister. I still love you. I know that at the end of the day, you weren't really the one calling the shots. You co-signed it, and now you're an adult, and that's terrible.
Yeah, and you're still somehow trying to make some money off my name.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Shit. But it's like, you know what? At the end of the day.
She's killing her with kindness.
Right. She's like, I'm adult enough to be like,
yeah.
I know that you're just as fucked up in a way.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to totally blame you for our parents. That's how I took it. I'm not totally going to blame you for our parents' actions, even though Jamie Lynn has done shitty things now as an adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like she called her out on that too, which I was just very proud of Britney in this little rant that she went on because I feel like she really stood up for herself. And I don't know. I just saw a different side of her, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like she was able to express her emotion and her pain while still stepping outside of herself.
Yes.
And trying to understand her sister's perspective. Because, again, her being the younger one. Like, I told Maya this after we read it. Like, you know, I was trying to play the devil's advocate. Not that I think her sister is right by any means, but I'm like, well, you know what? When you are younger, when you're the younger sibling, it's actually really easy to be manipulated by your parents.
Yeah.
And no matter what, you look at your parents as these people that, you know, you're scared of and that you want to impress. So when they're telling you to do this and do that, you can't help but do it. Especially in the public eye. You know what I mean? What is she going to do? Run off and, like, start a new life? No. Her family makes money. She's going to stay with them.
Exactly. That was her meal ticket. What do you mean?
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
I know. I'm proud of Britney. And, you know, she said in her post how she's so proud of her sister for doing interviews because Britney herself, she has trauma related to being in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know if she'll ever feel comfortable enough to do interviews. And I just hope that she continues to go on these rants on, you know what I mean? Keep writing it out. Because if you are expressing yourself and telling your story in that way, it is very well received on our end.
Yeah, for sure.
Because she gives just the right amount of detail, just the right amount of emotion. And I want to see more from her.
For sure.
Even if it is her notes app.
For sure. And I totally understand why she's very hesitant to do interviews. Like, I know a lot of us
fucked up.
So fucked up. Like, watching those interviews made me feel uncomfortable. I was like, why is nobody sticking up for this young woman? You know what I mean? And, like, of course, you have to be taught that language. You know what I mean? You have to be taught these things. Especially, I feel like, when it was extra volatile back then in the early 2000s and 90s for women.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Be honest,
lot has
the world
changed.
has always hated women.
Yes.
The world has never protected women.
Never.
Always demonized women.
Facts.
And now we're just barely getting to a point in society where we're holding people accountable.
Yes.
For always holding women to a different standard than men. You know?
And, I mean, like I said, I understand why she has that trauma, and I love actually this form of social media for her because nobody can say anything back to her. You know, they can't call her out on what they
or kind of confuse her.
Yeah,
you know, because it feels like she has been separated from the public for so long that she probably has some anxiety too to have like two-way dialogue.
For sure.
So I'm glad that she's able to express herself in this way too, and hopefully her expressing herself helps her release this trauma too.
Yeah.
Because it seems like she's gone through a lot of shit, and probably we are barely at the tip of the iceberg of what she's telling us. I'm sure there's a lot more shit that has gone down, and I feel like the more she expresses it and tells us her story, the more she'll heal. And that's all I hope for her, is to tell her story and heal. And that's what I hope for everyone. I want people to know. Like, that is something that I love to see people telling their story and finally releasing all the pain that they've endured and moving on with their life.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's what I got from this post. Is like, I felt that pain, but I just don't even want to be angry at you anymore is kind of what I was picking up from
also,
it.
I know her thing is like, my beef is not with you.
Yeah.
Like, you're annoying.
Not,
you know what I mean? You look at your sibling, you're like, you're annoying, and I'll deal with you later. But like, mom and dad, you really got me fucked up.
We have a bigger threat here.
Literally. It's not my fault you're the stupid one that listened to them.
And like we said, it's like if you are always kind of eating off of that plate or like winning in some type of way by keeping somebody else down, like unfortunately a lot of people don't speak up to bring that other person up.
Yeah, for sure.
But again,
that's the thing with karma. Just when you think you're getting away with some shit, I promise you, it's going to come back and haunt you.
Yeah.
So the next time you want to take advantage of people, enjoy it while it lasts. But I promise you, the universe has a way of giving you your karma.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Mm-hmm. Always. Mm-hmm. Good and bad.
Facts. Is it mean to say I hope she doesn't sell that many copies of her book or whatever?
No, it's not mean. But you know it will. Yeah. Because how many times do I say, as much as the best celebrities and the best people have followers and, fans, the worst people in Hollywood or famous people will have fans too, because there's shitty people in the world who support shitty people.
For sure.
That's just fact.
And I feel like if there's any chance of there being anything about Britney in there, I feel like people are gonna flock.
Yeah,
to whatever
for sure.
Story
but it's just I would never believe a word out of her mouth.
Neither. Okay, so I know you saw this thing about Drake and the hot sauce. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me get into it.
Buffalo Wild Pussy.
Oh my gosh.
Why does that sound like the name of like a porno?
Right. Why does that sound like a wing flavor I want to try?
Why does that sound like Drake's new single where he's going to do a short film based on that specific story?
Right. But really though, okay, I was so shocked when you told me about this. Basically what happened was Drake, he met up with the lady for a special night. They did the nasty. AKA they had sex because they're two consenting adults. Mm-hmm. And he made sure that everybody was consenting from what I remember of the story. And obviously he wrapped it up wearing a condom because everybody's trying to get these celebrity babies. Yeah. Basically. I feel like, some people are like that.
Yeah, they want a paycheck.
Yes. And so he wraps his things up. He comes back out ready to be like, hey, baby.
Yeah, and then pillow talk.
We can imagine how Drake do. And then the girl goes to the bathroom because she's ready to clean herself up. And then all of a sudden hears a scream from the bathroom.
He goes in there. He's like, what's wrong? And her pussy was on fire because he poured hot sauce in the condom. Because that also kills all of his precious sperm. So she won't get pregnant, But it's just so fucking funny.
The level of revenge and the way it's really smart
it's
though
like
too.
Indirect revenge too.
It is.
It's like you did this to yourself.
You really did.
And it wouldn't have happened to you if you weren't being schnasty.
If you weren't being trifling.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Your pussy wouldn't be on fire.
It's just so funny because when we did that reaction video to what your sign does well and for Scorpio was fight. And we talked about how, we like to fight. We don't like to fight externally. We'll do it internally. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that just seemed like such the perfect scenario. Yes. You know what I mean? You wouldn't see it coming and no one would even have to hear about it.
I love this well thought out and well planned revenge.
So does he
not even?
Does
it's
he have
not
one of
even.
those little Tabasco sauces with him, the ones that you put on your keychain?
Right. Do you keep the Taco Bell hot sauce in your
does he
in your
switch
wallet?
It up? You know what I mean? They go out on different restaurants. He's like, this is the hot sauce I want for tonight. Right. This is the hot sauce I want for the other night.
Is there hot sauces that work better than other hot sauces with killing and burning the pussy?
Of cayenne, what I mean? What is the science behind this?
Right. Do other people do this too?
Because someone has to verify that. You know what I mean? He probably asked his doctor. Because you know what I mean? Because if it doesn't kill it, then it's just dumb, Yeah. Because he needs to make sure that it's a foolproof plan.
Yeah.
How does that conversation go with his doctor? So, doctor, I'm a popular man. If I put hot sauce in my condom, will it kill my sperm?
Right. Or, even better, did his doctor tell him about it? He was like, hey, yo, Drake, Or she was like, "Ayo, Drake."
Damn. That's crazy.
If you put hot sauce on the condom.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this has always been a thing. Like, people have always tried to get pregnant by celebrities
let's
and
be honest,
catch them up,
people
you
try
know?
to get pregnant by the next Joe Schmo down
This
the
is
block
facts.
that doesn't have a job. You know what I mean? They think it's
facts.
going to fix the relationship. You know what I mean? Or they just want them so bad they want to trap them. Like, it doesn't have nothing to do with celebrities.
No, you are so
on
right.
On a grand scale, it happens to celebrities.
Right. If you're smart, you do it with
I know it
celebrity,
happens
but
to
just
regular
kidding, not
schmegular
really.
people that are just stupid in love.
No, that is so true. I just think it's so weird.
It is so weird. It is very
do
strange.
that.
And also it's embarrassing. Because she
Yeah.
got caught. You know what I mean? It's different if, like, oh my God, the condom didn't work. That happens sometimes, 98%. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the fact that, like, how can you even look at him? You know what I mean? Like, you know what you did.
Yes.
And he's in the bathroom looking at you like, you wanted to be with me forever, huh?
Right. What do you think he said after that? Because he obviously knew what he was doing when he put it on. And then, like, what pillow talk happens after that? Or do you just immediately kick her out?
No,
it's
I
like,
would-
bye. You trifling?
If I was a man and this happened to me, I would literally go in there and be like, oh my God, you okay? And then I'd see what happened. I'd be like, Karma's a bitch. And I'd walk out. Like,
Clean yourself up and get out of my house.
No, literally, because you nasty. Your mom didn't raise you right.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why this is just so freaking funny to me. Like, he's a savage for that.
It really is. It's just iconic.
Absolutely iconic.
It really is.
I wonder if other people do this. Like, I really do.
If
Or
they
if it's
weren't,
gonna
they're going to start now. Let me
Right.
tell you that. Trendsetter.
I can't wait to see the Twitter memes from, like, the female side of, like, my pussy's on fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Not that I condone this behavior, but you know it's freaking funny.
Remember in Real Housewives of Potomac when Karen kept calling
Oh
Giselle's
my
pussy a
God.
hot box?
Yeah.
This has a different meaning. You know what I mean? Because I never understood it at that time, but now I can't help but think of hot box as this story.
Yes. Okay, since we're kind of on the topic of, like, messy celebrities dating sex stuff.
10 other keywords.
Right. I thought we would talk
Entanglements.
about entanglements. Yes. It's literally entanglements. I thought we would talk about celebrities who have open marriages and who openly, like, talk about it, or some who maybe don't as openly talk about it. And if we think, is it the key to success in, like, a marriage? So what do you think, Sarah? What do you feel firstly about, like, celebrity open marriages? Sorry, let me take my quotations away. But how do you feel about them? And, like, you know, do you think they're the key to a successful marriage from you personally?
Well, I'm not married, so I don't know what the key is to a successful marriage, but I do know that I'm a one-person type of gal.
Yeah.
And I full-heartedly believe that if you're in love, you really don't have eyes for anyone else. Truly, I believe that. So I do think that these celebs, they definitely enjoy getting something from this person, something from that person, because there is not one person that is giving them all those things.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe it is because they're so busy. Maybe it is because they travel a lot and they have different things they need to do, so they're not always in the same house together. You know, that's something that I think about. And maybe they have, like, let's say they do a movie with so-and-so. Damn, their connection with so-and-so is fire. But their husband, they also get along with their, you know what I mean, co-star too.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like a, you know, it's a win-win. Like, I like my co-star, you like your co-star. This is fine. You know?
Yeah.
I do think you just have to be very, very, I don't know. You have to be very comfortable with yourself and your relationship to just be with one person. And I'm not sure if maybe these celebrities are.
Yeah. I feel like they have so much access.
That's just what they want.
You know, they have so much access to people and to, like, nice things and going out to places.
Yeah.
And I feel like because also they do travel so much,
Yeah.
maybe it's just easier for them to, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but I think it's easier for them to have these connections with other people or get their stuff
Yeah.
wherever they are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it's like, maybe I'm not home that often. Maybe I'm only home once every 3 months, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, what, I'm not going to have sex for 3 months?
Yeah.
Not saying I agree with this at all, because quite frankly, I don't.
Yeah.
I agree that I personally think that, you know, when you care a lot about somebody and you really love them, you're going to make it work just one-on-one. And you see tons of celebrities who just have, you know, their single relationships, you know?
Yeah.
So, and being successful and happy and no cheating and no scandals or anything like that. But I saw this question, or I wanted to ask this question because it came up on like one of my stupid Snapchat stories, which I feel like are the most like trashy, by the way. But it was basically talking about Steph Curry and Ayesha Curry.
On Snapchat.
I love Snapchat.
What you doing on Snap? I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
Filters.
Yeah, the filters are pretty cute.
No, yeah, okay. But they were talking about Steph and Ayesha Curry.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and they were trying to say that they have an open marriage, or secretly they have an open marriage, and I was just like, ugh. I mean, and if they do, that's their business, but I also kind of hate that people are trying to, like, make it seem like they, you know what I
their
mean?
Love for each other.
Exactly, because people can love like that. You know what I mean? It takes two people who are dedicated.
People love destroying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A couple that is just, it's seemingly happy with each other.
But also,
because they're not messy. I think people want celebs to be messier.
For sure. They definitely do.
But also, I have to be,
Especially
like, that's what we
too.
thought about, like, fucking Will Smith and Jada, and look how messy they ended up being.
Yeah.
So even besides all this, I'm a firm believer in fuck relationship goals. Like, don't look at people and think their relationship's perfect, because you never fucking know.
It's true.
You really don't.
And ultimately, I think we both agree that, like, it may not work for either of us, but if it works for you, do what works for you, you know?
All that matters is you're communicating with your partner. I don't think there's anything wrong with polygamy or just open relationships in general, as long as both parties are aware and are okay with the other one doing it.
Right.
Because I think sometimes they want to do it, but they don't want their partner to do it. And that's fucking weird.
I don't like that
I don't like that. It's like a power, dynamic there. And I also feel like maybe for celebs, because celebs have, like you said, so much access, let's say they get into a fight with their partner, it's really easy to just fly out the country and go be with your lover. You know what I mean? Like, you definitely have to, be comfortable expressing yourself to your partner. Otherwise, if you're the type of person that just lets their ego take the wheel, you will go cheat on them any chance you get, because there's hella people throwing themselves at you. It's so easy.
Yes.
And also it's probably easy if you've been hurt by them to go out in front of the paparazzi and be with someone. Even if it's not sexual, there was pictures of me and so-and-so. Like, kind of get a reaction out of each other.
Yeah. I feel like it can lead to a lot of public pettiness.
Yeah.
Personally.
That's why you have to be mature.
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of celebrities, even though they have the fame and the money and the talent, they're not mature. And I don't know where it was, but I read that you stay the age that you first got famous for. Like, I don't know where I saw that, if it was in a documentary or a quote, but, like, I thought that was so interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, weird. Yeah. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. I also wanted to talk about T-Pain specifically, because I learned that he is in an open marriage himself, and that him and his wife have always been in this open marriage, and they typically bring, like, other women into their relationship, and that's because she likes it too. So I'm also want to be cognizant of people who are maybe bi or pan, and they like to, you know what I mean, they want to bring somebody else into their relationship, because that is also, that's fine, you know what I mean, but you guys have to be communicating about that, obviously. And I feel like those people have good communication when you say, like, I want this, you know what I mean, and you're talking about your sex life in that way. So to me, it's just like, anything's really fine as long as you're talking about it to each other. You know, and you're both okay with it.
As long as you're both on the same page. I feel like my only issue is when one person feels like, there's secrets in the relationship.
Yeah, that's not okay.
That's when I feel like it's just unfair, because this person came into the relationship hoping for a monogamous relationship, but, your attention is elsewhere, and they did not sign up for that.
Right.
And that's why it's important to have these conversations before you get married, too. Because if you say to your partner, it's just me and you, baby, and they're like, cool, that's what I wanted. And then you're married, but then you start changing your mind. You're like, actually, that's not really what I was wanting, but because you wanted it, I wanted it. Like, stop people pleasing.
Yeah.
Tell people from the jump what you like, what you want. And if it's the right match, it'll be like, okay, cool. It's when people lie to themselves and lie to other people that they get wrapped up in these situations where they're unhappy and they have to keep secrets.
Seriously. And you're allowed to change your mind, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you could be open to something like this and then say, actually, it's not working for me. And then if that person doesn't want to do, wants to continue, then you say,
That's
bye.
That's what divorce is for, truly.
You know?
But a lot of people, they use the institution of marriage to keep secrets. Like, well, I married you, so I want to be with you forever. But if I tell you what I really want, you'll maybe want to divorce me. And I don't believe in divorce, so I'm just going to keep it on the side.
Right.
That's fucked up.
I agree. I feel like that's like you not being able to express yourself to your partner. And like, to me, that's not a real relationship. Like, to me, why would you be in a relationship with somebody you can't express yourself to? Like, that's the whole point. They're supposed to be like your safe space, your sacred space. Like, if you can't talk to them about when you're mad, sad, angry, don't like something, like, why are you together?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And if you do change up what you want after you get married, your partner doesn't have to be okay with it. They might go crazy on you, but like, it is still your job to let them know what you want and what's not working. And they have the right to be mad at you because that's not what you said before you got married.
100%. But then it's also good for you because it's like, well, if you want to be like that, I don't want to be with you anymore.
Yeah.
So
that's the problem, though. I feel like people have these ideas of themselves and they want to be perceived a certain way, right? But we all have different sides to us, right? I would hope, ideally, your partner, more than anyone, knows all your sides. But I feel like a lot of times people hide certain sides to themselves because they want to be accepted. And they're scared that if they were to show people all of them, that they won't be accepted.
Yeah.
And this is when, cheating and oh my God, they had a whole nother life. All that shit happens.
Yeah.
Is because people are scared to show people their whole selves. Like, that's why it's so important to be with yourself before you get into relationships. So when you do get with someone, you show them your all.
Yeah.
Like, people just love to keep secrets when it comes to their desires, what they want. And it's like, trust me, it's going to come out. Like, it will always come out.
Yes.
So just show all of you to the people that you're interested in, because you want the right person to see all of you and accept all of you.
Yes.
Not just one part of you, the part that is accepted by society. Fuck what society thinks.
Right. And it must be so tiring to, like, I would think it would be so tiring to try and keep up that act all the time.
It is. It really freaking
And that
is.
would make me depressed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not being able to, like, express myself.
But that's the thing. When you're not showing your partner all of you and you get to go be with someone else and they see all of you, of course you're going to feel pulled away from your partner.
Yeah.
You're literally giving parts of yourself that you never show your partner to someone new.
They never
now
had
they're
to
going to be,
experience it.
pulled in two directions. The person that society wants me to be with and my hidden secret that sees all of me.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yikes.
Potentially very toxic.
It is toxic. It is toxic.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I feel like I've noticed with divorce, a lot of times people, not all the time, but I've seen a lot of times people come out of a divorce knowing exactly what they want. Because they know what didn't work last time. They know what they did wrong last time. They know that they didn't show them all of them last time. So they go into relationships after divorce being authentically themselves.
Yeah.
More than ever before.
Yeah. It's so interesting, though, then, that we try to get in such serious relationships when we're so much younger and we haven't taken the time to get to know ourselves. You know what I mean? Because it does seem like if you took the time to get to know yourself, you would obviously be better off in a relationship afterwards. And that's, I feel like I see older people being happier in their relationships because they don't have a problem always expressing themselves. I'm not saying all older people, because some of them do, but you know what I mean?
For sure.
So it's like, why do young people like always try and rush into relationships? I'm not saying I didn't I did it too, you know what I mean? But I wish I would have actively focused, like being like, hey, I'm gonna focus on me. We all say that we're doing it.
Feelings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we lead with our feelings.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's something we should work on. I think people are always gonna have feelings. As soon as we're teenagers, we're gonna have these feelings. But what I do want, parents or whomever to teach younger kids is like, hey, you have feelings for someone? Great. have feelings for them, but just always have this in the back of your mind. This might not always be your end all be all person. Like, date around, have feelings, feel the things, but stop thinking that you have to settle down with this person, because chances are that they're not the person you end up with when you're that young.
And settling
you
down.
haven't figured out who you are yet.
Right.
Who you are is going to change a lot. And who they are is going to change a lot. Yes. And just because you guys meshed well at 15 doesn't mean you're going to mesh well at 22.
Yes. And I feel like people think settling down is like, oh, we're together and then we almost don't grow, you know? But that's not it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think people just need to get comfortable with the fact that, like, we're allowed to change.
Yes.
You know? We're supposed to evolve. And sometimes when you evolve, certain people are not fitting in your life anymore. And that's sad, but goodbyes are necessary.
So, you know,
round up the troops, tell them bye.
Right. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. All right, y'all. So let's do our YouTube questions now from last week's videos and this week's videos. The first question is, what toxic trait does Cap need to let go of the most? And we pulled that question from, you know, how can Capricorns grow to be their best selves? How can they evolve? So what toxic trait, though, does Capricorn really need to let go of?
I think the toxic trait y'all need to let go of the most is not feeling like you deserve the good things in life.
Yeah.
Without, like, working yourself to the bone.
Yeah.
You know? Obviously, when you work hard and you get things, it feels amazing. I've said this. But also, you deserve good things when you don't do shit, too. Because a lot of people just randomly get good things in life because, oh, my God, luck is on their side. Or they're just living, you know, a happy, joyous life. And good things just happen. Like, I want Capricorns to also know that they deserve this energy.
Yeah.
They deserve things to go their way with ease. You know, and for good things to just fall on their lap without them feeling like they gotta work so hard and, like, deserve it.
Right.
You know?
No, I totally agree. That's actually mine too. It's like, to me, their most toxic trait is thinking that everything kind of has to be hard. Like, they have to work hard and then, like, the next thing is going to be hard. And it's, no, like, you can work hard and things will come easily after that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I'm not trying to shit on you guys working hard because I feel like that's a good thing, but don't work yourself so hard that you don't think, like, there's never an end or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, you can enjoy your wins.
Yeah. I feel like it just ties back into your inner voice. Like, work hard you want, you know what I mean? That's the way you live life. Don't change that, but I want your inner voice to be more gentle with yourself. Stop using the word deserve so often and just know when good things happen, it's meant to happen. You know what I mean? You don't question why good things are happening because you didn't work yourself to the bone. Like, it just happens because that's what you deserve. You just deserve good shit happening with ease. You know?
And that's it. Because it's like, you guys do work so hard, but life doesn't have to always be hard.
Yeah, I say this all the time. There's plenty of people that don't do shit, and they just think they deserve all the best shit in life. And, you know, part of me, I'm like, damn, I want to be like that. And I know you Caps are the same way, too. So just be like that. And I get it. Saturn, you know, Saturn is the planet of, like, hardship, and it makes you overthink, and it makes you feel like life is supposed to be hard for you, and that's the only way that, you know, you'll achieve all your goals. But that's not always the case. It's all about that self-talk, too. Be more gentle with yourself. And just know that good shit is coming, because that's just what you're going to get.
For sure.
Expect the best.
Because then it will come to you. You already work so hard, like we said in the video. You know what I mean? You're already putting in everything that you need to reap all of the benefits that the world has to offer for you.
Yeah. And also, like, even if you're not and you're being lazy, you still deserve it. That's the point I really want to make, is that, like, you don't always got to be tired and giving it your all, and then you'll get what you want. Like, I want you to lay on your ass for a little bit and watch the magic unfold. All right, so for our next topic, we reacted to a list of every zodiac sign's biggest weakness. And from that, we pulled the question, have you worked on your rising sign's biggest weakness? And I'm a Capricorn rising.
I'm an Aquarius rising.
So you want to go first?
Yeah, mine was temper, and the answer is no. I have not worked on that.
We really appreciate the honesty.
Like, at all. I feel like y'all should go back and watch that video, especially for the Aquarius part, because I feel like she put all Aqua's in our rightful places. And I was like, damn, you know what? Like, as an Aquarius rising, like, I do have a really bad temper sometimes. And all of the aqua placements I know, they get real riled up when it
comes out of nowhere. And it's around people they're really comfortable with. They're not doing it with their little friends here and like you there. They're doing it with the people that they feel comfortable blowing up on.
Right. Which almost makes it worse.
It definitely makes it worse. It definitely makes it worse.
So yeah,
awkward is so friendly to everyone.
Yeah.
Do you want to work on it?
I do. I know. I keep saying like no. Next. But honestly, I have a very hard time, to be super honest, I have a very hard time like processing my temper and my anger.
Because of the fact that it takes them longer to process emotions and feelings, the anger builds up, and that's where that, those hidden blow-ups come from.
Yeah.
That crazy temper comes from, because they're so nonchalant all the time, and then all of a sudden they realize, wait, I finally processed that thing that happened 3 days ago, and I'm fucking pissed.
Right, and then my fixed nature comes in, and I feel like I get really obsessive about it, and I'm like, oh, you had me fucked up. Like, that was fucked up,
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, I think about it, but I feel like it really is something hard for me to, like, overcome, because I feel like just in the moment, I'm just so overtaken by it. I really am. Yeah. I don't know how to deal with anger properly, to be totally honest with you. It doesn't happen super, super often for me. So when it comes up, I'm like,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. You deserve to get it today. What about you?
Okay, so mine for Capricorn was afraid of opening up to people. I am working on that. I'm working on that. It's kind of hard. We're in quarantine. Opened up to the same people for 2 years. I don't know how much more I have in me to open up to new people. I'm not meeting them. No, it's definitely hard for me.
Yeah.
I said this a few episodes ago on our podcast before we had the video. I started crying out of nowhere when we were talking about friendship.
Yeah.
Because I realized I still have a lot of trauma related to friendship and betrayal that I've definitely gotten better at and have done enough shadow work to know where it comes from and, the people I need to forgive or for even forgiving myself for not setting the right boundaries at the time. So I know that's where a lot of this comes from, my fear of opening up to people, because I just feel like they can't be trusted.
Yeah.
I don't know people's intentions. And again, it also comes from my Scorpio of being paranoid. Just, this list for me was really hard. Scorpio, fear of abandonment. Capricorn, afraid of opening up to people. Bruh.
Right. It was coming for your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to open up to people because I'm not dumb. I know that there's a lot of connections to be made in this lifetime. You learn a lot from people, and it feels good when you connect with someone that you weren't expecting to connect with. I love that shit. But I am all or nothing person. I've never been the type of person that can have casual friendships because I just care so deeply for people and things, just everything. Yeah. So when I, feel like I'm going to be betrayed, it's one of the worst feelings.
Yeah.
So to protect myself, I just don't open up to people.
Yeah.
But again, I don't want to miss out on having these fulfilling platonic relationships.
Yeah.
I feel like the best stories are made with friends. And I love the friends I have now, but I also know I can have other friends too. I just need to get over this fear.
Yes.
Of people taking advantage of me, or just being one way with me and then hearing that they're another way behind my back.
Yeah.
Or just feeling it because I get the feeling and then I'm looking at you like,
Yeah.
I just don't want to be in that place again. And again, I feel like you told me this in the last podcast when we talked about it, is that I have grown. So it's not like I'm going to be the same, 18-year-old girl that got taken advantage of or that was, around toxic friends or just people in general, men too. I'm not the same girl. I've grown and evolved so much. But again, the pandemic, it makes it hard. I'm not able to use these new set of skills.
Right. I haven't been able to try them on for anybody.
I really haven't. But when it's time, I'm going to open up.
She's ready to make a friend. I loved this question this week because I feel like our answers were very real and very honest and that we haven't necessarily worked on these biggest weaknesses of ours.
Yeah.
And it's something that, you know, we think about and we do try
it's something that's on my mind often. It really is.
Yeah, no, me too. Especially because, like I said, I don't get angry very often. So it gets stuck in my mind. But yeah, I loved this question.
All right, y'all. Thank you for hanging out with us for another week. Don't forget to comment down below with your thoughts. Were you feeling this episode? Any of the topics? Tell us how you feel, because we love that shit.
Yes, so much. We post this podcast every Wednesday on YouTube and really any other podcast streaming platform. So you can check it out on whatever type of platform you really want to, okay? We post our YouTube videos every Monday and Thursday. We're going to link our socials somewhere.
And if you're listening, our socials are CharmedanDangerous on Instagram.
Yes, we love you guys so much. Have a great week.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also share the podcast with your friends, because that really helps us out a lot.
Yes. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.